Danny Ellen is a rafting guide. He and his coworkers had seen the bear off and on for several days and noticed there was no sign of its mother. Floating along the Nolichucky River near the border of Tennessee and North Carolina was a 5-month-old bear cub who didn't have much of a chance. Seemingly abandoned by its mother and in need of attention, the bear could have easily drowned. Luckily, a rafter named Danny Allen spotted him. Instead of leaving the wild animal to its own devices, Allen took it upon himself to rescue the bear, even though doing so was risky. When Danny Allen was rafting on the Nolichucky River between Tennessee and North Carolina last year, he spotted something heartbreaking: a months-old bear cub wandering aimlessly around the riverbank without her mother. Danny steered his raft closer to the poor cub to investigate. Pulling right up to the poor thing, he was only hoping to get a better look at her. That's when the baby bear did something he never saw coming. He was surprised, however, when she hopped right into the raft with him. She was obviously malnourished, said Allen's boss. My guides kept coming back and saying they didn't know what to do. It was the first time Allen or any of the other rafting guides had seen anything like this. Clearly, this bear cub was in dire need of help. Danny quickly brought the baby bear to USA Raft Company's Matt Moses, who had seen the lonesome creature just a few days before. Realizing her mother was no longer in the picture, they determined a plan of action for the orphaned cub. When Danny first found the bear, it was clear that she was starving and dehydrated. Without her mother, she had barely managed to survive. It was safe to say that she was in serious need of nourishment, or else she would perish. So Danny and Matt promptly called the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, which brought the cub to the Appalachian Bear Rescue. It was a bit of a whirlwind rescue mission, but finally she would get the help she needed. Workers there provided the severely dehydrated cub with round-the-clock care. They also discovered that the sweet cub is a girl, and the doctors gave the baby bear plenty of fluids and nicknamed her Noli after the river where she was found. Right away, she seemed to respond to her rescuers with gratitude. She was definitely a sweetheart, and she was excited to get some food and water. The veterinarians gave Noli a thorough examination and started preparing for her recovery. She was going to be okay as long as they acted quickly. Poor Noli was a tad bit confused at all the poking and prodding, though. Noli has to stay with the doctors until they feel she's ready to rejoin her fellow bear cubs in the wild. Her recovery is slow and steady, as she needs to gain about 50 pounds before she can leave. Slowly, the rescuers started to get Noli acquainted with her new surroundings. She was a quick learner, and she seemed to enjoy her new home. It helped that she was finally getting lots of food and attention, and she was growing stronger every day. Noli's rescuers had to make sure she would be able to climb trees, get used to her senses, and generally do things that all bears are supposed to do in order to prepare her for her big return to the wild. They wanted her to learn all of the bear necessities, so to speak. Noli even took a liking to applesauce and grapes, which helped rehydrate her during her recovery. She'd gone from aimlessly wandering a riverbank looking for food to having her own big bowl of sweet applesauce. What a turnaround. While Noli was in much better shape from the day she was brought to the rescue center, she still needed to gain 50 pounds or more before she was able to be released into the wild. That meant she'd need a lot more applesauce and some rejuvenating naps. Until then, she was just happy to be receiving so much attention and so many grapes. Good luck, Noli. It's a good thing she followed her instincts and jumped into Danny's raft for help. It's so great that Danny found Noli before it was too late. Soon she will be big enough to go back into the wild where she belongs.